Hey, what's going on? Miguel, the host of Life Full Circle Radio. What's going on? Happy Monday. And a lot going on. We packed our show in with some pretty good stuff today. I think we're going to have ourselves a ball. We're going to talk a little bit about, we got to give our RIP, give our respect to Harry Belafonte. He was more than Dale. Yeah, did a whole lot more than that. So 96 years old. God bless the king. Tucker Carlson and Don Lemon fired on the same day. We're going to dig into a little bit on the business side and have a little fun with that. Jonathan Major's star is dropping more and more by the day. Carolyn Dunham, almost cussed. Anyway, Carolyn Dunham is dead. Prize from the Fugees may be locked up for a minute. Not cool. Kim Porter, who killed the young man out of Minnesota as a cop, grabbed her taser, said she was grabbing her taser, grabbed her gun and killed him. She's out. Jerry Springer's passed on as well. And we're going to get into the blue check and talk about the value or lack thereof of the blue check. What do you think? Is it worth it? All right, so we'll be back here. We're about to get rocking. We're about to get rolling. Let's go. Super producer.
What up? Hold on 1 second. I'm posting the show to make sure everybody tunes in. One second.
Right. Okay, so I'm going to be over here talking. We're going to talk about this here, of course, as we've been talking about the last few weeks. No, don't throw your hands up now. You're like, I'm not there. Give me a minute. So we're going to sell some stuff. All right, go get some stuff. If you want to get your studios right, if you need some help getting your studios right, let us know. We can knock it out for you. That's what we do with Life Full Circle Radio. What's up? All right.
What's up?
What's going on? We got a lot going on this week.
I am distracted by the Met Gala. I'm sorry, watching these people. You know me and Tracy, we're all about the fashion and the looks and the vibes and everything.
Right.
So
right.
Apparently the red carpet for the Met Gala started at 4:30, 5 o'clock.
In the afternoon? Okay.
In the afternoon. I'm like, why is live at the Met Gala? I thought it started at 7. What do I know?
Well,
Speaking of fashion and Met Galas.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's kind of a good transition, yes and no. So here's the thing. All right, so about 2 weeks ago, Fine Arts Plus Fashion, as we know, we talk about my super duper wife and the work that she does in the community. One of the things she does is that she serves as chair of the board for the National Black Arts Festival here, based here in Atlanta. And I want you guys to see this, though. Well, you know what? We can talk about it while I am, because we can't get the audio to do what it's supposed to do. But anyway, there's my wife right there jumping up on the screen. And so it was really dope. This is a really, really nice event. So you can imagine this is what? Huh?
That I've never been invited to. Just wanted to
you don't have to get invited. You come and you in town. Come, let's go. So as you can imagine, it is at some fancy spot and it's outside. God bless the weather that it didn't act up on us. It is a beautiful, beautiful night. Oh my God. So you imagine we're outside, you got these stair steps that you go up. So there's someone in this, we honored a bunch of, there was one kid who's got a line. He goes to Clark Atlanta University. He has his own line. And there's another sister who's doing her thing. It was just amazing. So one of the honorees, the biggest honoree of the night was Ruth Carter. Ruth be like, oh, who's Ruth Carter? Ruth Carter is the 2-time Oscar award winning sister who did all the costuming for Black Panther 1 and Black Panther 2. And so I met her. She's a Hampton University grad. Shout out to all my Hamptonians. I had to go and let her know, we had a quick conversation. I was like, I said, I'm Norfolk State, behold the green and gold. Got to rib her a little bit. But, it's I got a lot of love for Hampton because of my family. So I knew, now, mind you, I knew this, but I'm making conversation, right? So I didn't know what Tracy didn't tell me was that we were going to be sitting at the table with her. And so we're sitting there, we're making conversation. I said, Ruth, all right, so without me having to pull up Wikipedia, what other movies have you costumed? And she just looked at me. She just looked at me like, huh?
This is a damn shame, y'all. For real. It's a damn shame. It is. Keep telling a little story.
So let me finish telling my little story. And then, so they had this video that I'm trying to get my hands on. And they had a nice montage of the movies and the things this woman has costumed. We know off top about Black Panther. She goes back to early Spike Lee. I'm talking Do the Right Thing. I'm talking Malcolm X. I'm talking Jungle Fever. I'm talking, and then all the way up to now, Yellowstone. Like, right. Like she's doing absolutely amazing career. If you don't know about Ruth Carter, you need to look her up. But afterwards, she came back to the table and I said, I'm so embarrassed I even asked you that question. She just chuckled.
He should be. His wife is the chairman of this event.
Yeah.
He has a phone. I would have, if I was at the table, I would have been like, first of all, how dare you call her Ruth by her first name? It's Miss Carter to you and everybody else. Like,
she wasn't
not.
even like that. She was really cool. Yeah.
No, I believe you. I think to be as successful as she is, you have to kind of be down to earth. And then to be involved in fashion, have to jump from film to TV set to Yellowstone is almost completely different than other stuff she's done.
Absolutely. When I saw that, I was so excited because I'm a big Yellowstone fan. And the fact that she is doing Yellowstone as well, which means that she goes beyond just the Black genre of costuming. It was much more than that.
Are you going to watch the new Yellowstone, the prequel, I guess, the one with Harrison Ford, which, by the way, Harrison Ford, you need to die. At this point, you're so old, it doesn't even make sense. It's like Liam Neeson still playing action movies, Denzel still trying to do it, and Harrison Ford out here trying to revive his action career. There is an Indiana Jones 5, y'all.
No, that's ridiculous. I have not. We watched the prequel from the girl is one. She was originally one of the Nickelodeon and the Disney. So we watched the first prequel. We haven't watched the second prequel. We're talking about the prequel of Yellowstone that stars one of my favorite actors. What's his name?
Harrison Ford.
Not the prequel, but the one the main.
The original.
Kevin Costner. Kevin Costner. It's a great show. I'm wondering when it's coming back on. I think it's a late summer thing that they do. But it's a great show. But the fact that this woman, Ruth Carter, man, you want to talk about giving her flowers, and she was just so down to earth. She greeted so many people. But the great thing about rooms like this, that we get the pleasure of being in sometimes is that, that I think one of the Real Housewives, which is the tall model, Cynthia, I think is her name.
Cynthia Bailey.
She was there. Local celebrities and stuff, and really dope people were there, and other tastemakers and stuff were there. So it was a really cool event. So I'm proud of what Trey and her staff and the executive director and all those folks did. They did an amazing job, and I'm glad the weather cooperated. And so let's move on. All right, so let's talk about our man Harry Belafonte. Harry Belafonte passed away last week, 96 years old. Doesn't matter what he passed away of because he was 96 years old. He blessed us with 96 years of amazing work, not only as a musician, as an actor. He was, but just recently, as in probably. Did that come across the air? Somebody, my daughter just tried to FaceTime me. I got to see why I did that.
Across the air.
So anyway, and so Harry Belafonte, he's an amazing activist and did so much work. And there was some stuff right before the pandemic. He was actually here in Atlanta, and there's some video out there with him and T.I. sitting on a panel. And you said, man, so Harry Belafonte sitting on a panel with T.I. in Atlanta. He was still active. And to be 96 years old, I can pull up some videos, images right now. You like, that man, skin was smooth as butter. You're like, man, how you 96 years old and you look like you're 50?
Well, let me tell you some really cool things that I didn't know about Harry Belafonte, kind of in honor of his life. I did not know that he was roommates with Sidney Poitier. They were two struggling actors in New York.
That makes sense.
They were both working, and they would actually share shows together, meaning because they could only afford one ticket, one friend, Sidney Poitier or Harry Belafonte, would go to the show, then tell the other one about it, and the other one would finish watching the show and then come back home and tell them about it. And that's how they both kind of fell in love with the theater. His first debut album, his rise of fame as album Calypso, which has that song, everybody calls it Deo. Deo. Which is actually called the Banana Boat song. I was like, why is it called that? Whatever. And Jamaican Farewell. He has been on several shows. He has been on NBC since NBC even came into fruition. He was friends with Nat King Cole. Like, he has had a triumphant career that has literally literally lasted over a half a century.
Yeah, and a lot of people like Harry Belafonte and Sammy Davis Jr. And they were the ones. Martin Luther King wasn't rich like most of these activists, right? And so they need people who were successful. And Harry Belafonte was someone who helped to finance a lot of what would happen during the civil rights movement. And so, same with Sammy Davis Jr. Some people would like to try to call Sammy a sellout or whatever, and don't know their history and what Harry Belafonte really, what Sammy Davis meant to the movement. So we honor Harry Belafonte, no question about it. That brother was an amazing legend. And so if you don't, it's so
and
people
a sex
always,
symbol until the end.
huh?
And a sex symbol until the end, almost.
Yeah, you go back to Carmen Jones. If you've never seen, people who've never seen Carmen Jones, I'm sure it's on the streaming services somewhere. It is a great movie.
It is.
It is a great movie. Sometimes I guess just because I'm older, but I ain't that old. Like I didn't grow up with him. I'm half his age, right? But this is the type of history that our young people need to go back and say, who was this guy? And when you go back and do your research and look at the films, you hear the music, and you just like, man, and you read the history about Harry Belafonte, he was, if you love what LeBron is doing today and being the best at what you do, but then also using that platform to make change, that's Harry Belafonte. And so I'm proud that he lived. All right, so let's move on. So last week, we didn't get a chance to talk about. I think it happened on the day of the show last Monday. Cable news has less room for primetime provocateurs. Tucker Carlson and Don Lemon were fired on the same day. I'm gonna let you start this segment off because I know you got your. Let me start this segment off. Go ahead.
So let's just rewind a little bit. So for Fox News, they actually lost their legal battle with Dominion, the voting machine Dominion, and is ordered to pay these people $756 million. It might as well have been $1 billion at that point. Once you get up that high, just make it $1 billion and let's call it a day.
Call it a cool billion.
And we call it a cool billion. And because of that, Fox News, I feel like they had to almost clear their payroll and also clear the people who were kind of pushing this whole the election was stolen January 6th, kind of all that stuff, because they also fired Dan Bingo. And nobody really knows who Dan is. He's a jackass. It's fine. But they also fired Tucker Carlson. And apparently Tucker Carlson was already on the chopping block because he had created a toxic work environment. His executive producer came out and did several interviews where she was saying how she was forced to spy on Maria Bartiromo. I always get her name wrong. They also call her the Money Honey. There were rumors that they were trying to spread about her. It was nasty text, getting called the C word. It was just a really bad, work environment. And then it came out the fact that he was trying to force his executive producer to find anybody that would go along with that. They were putting people, how to say this? That the FBI was infiltrating the January 6th peaceful protest to make it
a bunch
violent.
of nonsense. Tucker Carlson was pushing a bunch of nonsense, and not to mention he has the most maniacal, irritating laugh ever in the history of man. But
his face is irritating. You know why his face is irritating? Because he looks like a little boy who didn't quite all the way grow up. He just kind of grew up, so his face stays like that. His face is so punchable. Like, this is crazy. But before we get on Tucker, Don Lemon was also fired. Yeah. And I'm sorry, I don't know if Miguel agrees with me, but I totally understand why Don Lemon got fired. He was on a steep hill down, I want to say, with CNN for the past year. If you think about it, he had several instances of just being kind of bonkers. His New Year's Eve last year where he missed the countdown, but he was drunk. Even they said they couldn't be drunk. I'm pretty sure he was drunk or high, whatever. Then he made the comment about women being past their prime after 40. That was another thing. They had tried to put him in different slots after he lost his primetime slot, and it just doesn't work. He has been on set with his female co-host and made them kind of feel uncomfortable and look stupid. It's been multiple things with him. And I'm not surprised he got fired. I'm more surprised that it took so long for him to get fired. But I'm happy about this. I think both of these men need to go. And to be honest, they're both two sides of the same coin.
No, that's where I draw the line. I'm not there. No.
Stop it.
Go ahead. I'm going to let you finish. But I don't agree with that.
I think they're two sides of the same coin.
I don't agree with that. Because Don Lemon, everything else you said was fine. Those are the reasons why you get fired. You make comments like he made about what's the woman running for president?
Nikki Haley.
Nikki Haley. Made the comments about Nikki Haley. The drunk on New Year's Eve, and it wasn't the first time. He'd done that a couple of years in a row.
He's the reason why they said no more drinking.
Right. So stuff like that, I get. But when you start talking about him being two sides of the same coin, Tucker Carlson is out here promoting content that is absolutely dangerous, and it's got a bunch of nut jobs in the streets right now, willing to kill for Donald Trump. So I
would agree. I agree with you on that. What I'm saying is that both of them have sometimes forget that it's news and it's just all opinion. It's less news and I'm just throwing my opinion out there all the time. I don't think Don Lemon is inciting people to violence. Not at all. You're right. That's not what I mean.
Right.
But I mean just the very much opinionated part. And I think that's where they messed up putting him in the morning. Because the morning CNN and the morning Fox and the morning NBC are very different than the primetime shows.
Yes, they are.
So to put him with his opinion and his not being able to work well with others, with two female morning co-hosts.
Yeah, I think he was set. I think he was set up to fail by putting him in the morning. That was the last. That was your way out the door. But here's the thing about CNN. CNN's ratings have been slipping for a long time. When you think about CNN as in personalities, now who do you have left? Anderson Cooper.
You just have Anderson, and Anderson's not going to get into the dirt with everybody. He's not going to be like a Chris Mo. He's not going to be a Don Lemon. He's not. Anderson Cooper is very much like, I'm asking you the hard-hitting questions. I will push back on you a lot. But as far as throwing my opinion out there,
he is much more of a straight-laced, straight-ahead journalist than most of the majors that are out there. So now CNN, what are you doing? I watched CNN last week a little bit, and they're trying out some stuff at night in the slot that Don Lemon was on. A lot more of these panel discussions, the left and the right and all of that. And it's a snooze fest. It was boring. It was, I was like, oh my God, who are you getting this? So
Tiffany Cross ain't working. Tiffany Cross isn't working. If I was CNN, I would hire her quick, fast, and in a hurry.
I would too.
She has that.
I would too.
She has that. I'm ready to fight and go into the dirt with you. I'm cool with it. Like, let's do this. Who's also smart. She's also younger. She also has a better hairline than the other girl on MSNBC. I'd be getting concerned about her hairline. You know what I'm talking about.
Joy Reid. You're talking about Joy Reid. Joy Reid. Joy Reid had an auntie shirt on the other day.
Or shave it off, or
MSNBC has an interesting demographic as I'm watching how they've been rocking recently. But
what is their demographic?
Well, it's progressives. It is old liberals. It's progressives and old liberals is what they are. So it's all getting to that point. It's all getting to the point now where it's just like it's a bunch of mudslinging. It's this left, right. And, they're in the slow season right now. You're talking about we're 18 months away from the next election. They started too early trying to drum up all this attention because they got used to the money that Trump was driving with all of his nonsense.
There is no slow season when it comes to the news.
Because it's not about the news. Let me tell you why it's not about the news. They're not even talking about what's going on with the economics around the world. You got countries that are flat out coalescing like the Avengers to take down us as Thanos economically.
Yes.
These countries
basically said, your money is stupid. We don't like it anymore.
Right. Then one story we didn't pull was the bank. Which one? One of the banks out in got saved today by another big bank, and
yes, it got saved by J.P. Morgan. I literally just had that story up. 1 second, let me go back
J.P. Morgan. And so you had this situation now where it's kind of like, this stuff is getting crazy. Like, real stuff is getting crazy, not this Tucker and Don stuff. Real stuff is getting crazy where our money is doing a weird dance right now.
Breaking news.
Oh, Lord.
Serena Williams is pregnant again.
Okay.
Is that not breaking news?
I guess.
I just broke the story.
Okay. Do I need to find something? Let me see. I always find
now her makeup for the Met Gala is trash, but they are expecting
You didn't get a chance to stop. No, we're gonna let that run.
You can turn that off now.
So anyway, I never get these little pads right. You didn't get a chance to talk about the Met Gala, and I don't know if I want to talk about it because you start talking about what that boy name is, who was out there naked. You was talking
His
about
name is Lil Nas X, and he wasn't naked.
what that boy name is,
Does
huh?
body paint count as an
No,
outfit?
it does not. Don't no body paint on a naked body is still a naked body. Stop it. The Met Gala is always something. It's always something strange with a piece of change. All right.
Black people look good. We're just for a quick second. I'm looking at some people have arrived. Diddy looks amazing in his Met Gala outfit. You know,
Okay.
Kim Kardashian always looks good in her outfits. I mean, it's always a corset and a this and a that, and my boobs are out. But you know, it's really good. And Brittany Griner, who was invited to the White House Correspondents' Dinner, is also at the Met Gala with Mr. White.
Okay.
And this sounds so weird, but is Brittany Griner planning on transitioning? Because at this point, it's kind of like did you already transition and you're not telling us, or are you
transitioning? Why would she transition? Well, transition? No. Why would she transition?
Because, well, you know, she's mostly there.
I think she's what she's. You know, this is not the conversation where I flourish.
I know. I'm sorry. Let's move on before you.
I'm like,
look, and Trevor Noah got the big Tigger cornrows in his hair. Look at them rows.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Trevor Noah's bored. He didn't grow his hair out. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. So let's get back into this thing. All right. So we talked about Harry Belafonte. Talked about Tucker. My man Jonathan Majors is getting ready to sit up here and say that brother's career is about to be. What's the brother's name who had the movie, and he's from Norfolk, Virginia. He did the movie about, it was a black actor. He got caught up. He did the movie, and then they started accusing him for rape, and now I can't remember his damn name. Exactly.
Oh, is he the one from The Chi?
No, not him. Not him. It was a movie. He was getting ready to release a movie that was about what's my man name who had the revolution in Virginia? And the movie was great. Oh, anyway, I'm struggling now. But anyway, the point being is that, you know, right now, Jonathan Majors, you know, you got a big contract with Avengers and, you know, with Marvel, and, you know, this movie just came out. You got this other franchise going on with Creed. And now they getting ready to tell you ready to go make Crest commercials, because at this point, ain't nobody gonna hire you, bro.
No one's going to hire him. And here's the issue that we have. This all was started with his own lawyer. His own lawyer released those stupid text messages that should have never been released. And it was downhill from there. He now has multiple accusers coming out saying that they have been abused in some kind of way by Jonathan Majors. He also has people who have been filmed with him or directed him who had put out like anonymous tweets back in the day, and then taking those tweets and retweeting and saying, I was talking about Jonathan Majors in this. So this isn't new. He has had repeatedly abusive behavior on set with women. And someone brought up a really interesting point that I kind of agree with, how Jonathan Majors, if he wasn't famous, he'd be an ugly duckling that nobody would pay attention to. No, let me finish. That are what people are saying. And in high school and college, he was probably treated like crap by women. And now that he's famous and has some kind of power, that is now manifested into him being aggressive on set or being abusive to women. I'm not making an excuse. I'm just saying sometimes these things turn into something bigger. And it's so sad because he's very talented.
He's very talented. He's very talented. He went through that body transformation to play that role. There's been some accusations that he may have been using steroids to get his body to where he got it. And, you know, we got an issue with roid rage. Huh?
I believe that 100%, that he was using steroids for that role and probably for the role in A Lovecraft Country, because he was supposed to be a soldier coming back from war, right? So he had to look a certain way.
Yeah, I'm saying, you know, just to get more physical roles, as you mentioned, you know, there's some memes out there showing him before he worked out, and like you said, he's not the handsome guy like Michael B. Jordan or so, you know, he's, you know, I guess Michael B. Jordan's a handsome guy. Is he not? I don't know.
He looks like my little brother. It's fine. Like, oh, look, he's so cute. That's look. Go get yourself an ice cream with these 2 quarters. But I get what you're saying.
but yeah. So, you know, I'm just sorry to see what's happening with this guy. and his career. His career is having a precipitous decline very quickly, and I don't know what's next up for him. All right, so let's
Marvel, really quick, Marvel,
Mhm.
please, if you watch Life Will Sucker Radio, please hire John David Washington to play Kang. There's nobody else. They're looking at that skinny kid from Snowfall. He's too skinny. Unless y'all gonna have that boy gain 60 Damson Idris. Unless you're gonna have that boy gain 60 pounds between now and then, no.
Did
John
you watch
David Washington.
Did you watch Snowfall?
No, he's a great actor.
He's a great actor. He really
He's
is
an
a great
amazing
actor.
No one's taking that from him, but he's
Yeah.
also a stick.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
yeah,
He's kidding. Next topic.
All right, so we're gonna go back. We haven't done our favorite segment, our number one bona fide we all love segment in a while. We're gonna do it today. So, what segment? This is the we take content off this in these internet streets, and we kind of go, what did that really happen? Yes, this really happened. All right, so let's run it down. Well, where are you gonna start with our what segment of this here show?
Smokey Robinson and Titanic. Okay. So he had a recent interview with The Guardian, and speaking candidly about cheating on his first wife, because that's something everybody wants to talk about. He the 83-year-old Gasm singer, we'll come back to that, revealed that one of the multiple affairs he had was with a young Diana Ross, whose career he wanted to help with and was on Motown with. He said, we were working together and it just happened, but it was beautiful. She's a beautiful lady and I love her right till this day. First of all, that sounds like grooming. Are they the same age or is he a little bit older than her?
Oh God, y'all in this grooming stuff. They're probably around the same age. You imagine they were probably, Smokey has got to be in his early, I think he's 80.
I just said he's 83.
He's 83?
He's 83.
80? Oh, wow.
He's 83. And I think Diana Ross might be 70.
She's late 70s.
Okay.
Yeah, because Tracy Ellis Ross is my age.
Okay. Let me tell you. Didn't nobody even notice, Smokey? Nobody asked. Whoever asked him from The Guardian, hey, how many affairs did you have on your first wife? How is that an interview?
Here's the thing. Here's a little business insight for everybody watching. Even though he's 83 years old, and you're like, why is he talking? Because he just dropped a new album called Gasms.
He had an album out.
He has an album out. So anytime these rascals got something to promote, you're going to hear something and you be like, what? Because they gaining attention and he understands how to work in these internet streets as well. It's crazy. I sit back and I'm just like, why do we care about your 83-year-old behind? First of all, in his little routine he be doing with his little dance, he be looking at the camera and do his little dance with his little hips rolling. Yeah. I just sit back, man. It is what it is.
This is number 4. Still on Smokey. This is number 4 on our list. What's the name of his album again? You gotta say it.
I saw that. I said this has got to be a typo. Oh my God.
I honestly. Okay. Wait. I think I got a track list. I think I have a track list of gasms. Hold on. Okay. Track 1, gasms. 2, how you make me feel. Track 3, I want to know your body. 4, I keep calling you. 5, roll around. 6, beside you. 7, if we don't have each other. 8, fill me up. Number 9, I fit in there.
Oh my God, you've got to be kidding me. All right.
I wish I was making this up. That's the real track list for his album Gasms. And I get it. Smokey Robinson has always been a sex symbol, and I guess he's kind of like that Harry Belafonte of no matter how old I am, the women who
Smokey
like
been looking like a Muppet
is
for about the last 20 years. He's had too much plastic surgery. He got too much black dye in his hair. He's Smokey, I don't know.
And then Beijing.
Boy, that's beyond Beijing. That stuff he got in ain't never washing out. It might be a wig he got on. So, all right. So let's move on. What other what stories we got going on this week?
See what else is on the what list. Oh, poor Chance the Rapper. Listen, guys, when you make an album about how much you love your wife and then it bombs. That doesn't mean you go to Carnival in Jamaica and you start grinding on girls and smacking butts. That's not what you're supposed to do. And apparently Chance was like, I love my wife, but I also like smacking butts out here in Jamaica for Carnival.
Did he really say that? Did he really say he loves his wife? He loves smacking butts? Are you serious?
No, I said no. He does. That is not a direct quote from Chance the Rapper.
Okay.
That is me being funny. But yeah, he was out in Carnival dancing, and dancing in Carnival, it's normal. That's what everybody does. You get your costume on, you're in mask, like you're doing the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't really smack butt. It's not really part of the culture. And a lot of people jumped on him on social media saying, "You're married. Why are you out here smacking butt?"
But let me
if Omar went and he was out dancing, smacking butt, would I be mad?
Well, see, that's just it. See, because we grew up in America. To me, it takes an extreme amount of discipline for you to be walking around in Carnival with these women with halfway nothing on, walking down. I've never been, so I just know what I've seen on TV and that would take a lot of discipline for a bunch of alcohol to be flowing. And
but
so
to see everybody so scantily clad, you don't hear a lot of incidents.
And evidently culturally they understand that. Yeah,
it's respected. So I don't even know. I don't think I would have a problem with it. I would probably. It's weird. If we were in the States and he was doing that and smacking butt, I'd be annoyed. But if we were in Jamaica or in his home country of Guyana or London for Carnival or Canada, I probably wouldn't even care. I'd be laughing, drinking, toasting him up or something because it's just part of the experience. So
all right, well, I ain't trying it. I'm good.
Next
all right,
story.
So you got something else on Hot Wet before we out of here? Before we get off Hot Wet?
Nelly and Ashanti are back together, and I have no idea why.
Why not? You brought that up last week. I was just like, that makes sense to me. Like, y'all 40 plus years old. Y'all been in and out of this relationship for years. The real Hot What is, did anybody see Ashanti being who Ashanti is now as being an influencer, sex symbol 20 years ago? No, the answer is no.
Because we didn't even think the girl could sing, let alone have a future.
She was cute, she was cute. She needed to shape up them sideburns because they was a little bit out of control. But no, she's kept herself in amazing shape. And I believe a lot of that was during her relationship with Nelly, because he keeps himself in great shape. I think she really started to work out and all that. Man, let these black people do what they gonna do. Go on and get married, put your money together, get this bread. She's back out there touring. Now, here's the thing. I have to always be careful when I say people out here touring because everybody come to Atlanta. So I'm assuming if they do a show in Atlanta, they done went somewhere else. And Ashanti come every year, Nelly come every year. Everybody comes through Atlanta sometime.
Everybody comes to Orlando. Nobody come to Orlando. It's so sad. Only people that come to Orlando on a regular basis are all the big Latina artists. So like J Balvin, Bad Bunny, Prince Royce has been here a bunch of times. I'm like, listen, I get it. We are a largely Hispanic area, but can one of y'all Negroes come down here and perform? I would appreciate it. So
anyway. It ain't gonna happen. So anyway, that's your What segment of the week. That's how we getting it in. So before we get into the second part, because we got a new segment we're gonna premiere today. We're gonna talk a little business before we get out of here. So LL Cool J just announced new hip hop concert coming to the A. Traveling around. I know you want to talk, huh?
This is on the list in yellow, meaning we weren't supposed to talk about this. We were supposed to post on the page. Let's move on to the next story.
No. That's, you don't do hip hop like that on Life Full Circle Radio. Nope. Is it coming to Orlando? Probably not.
Probably not. They're gonna probably go to Tampa.
So anyway, it's called The Force. Something. The Force is an acronym for something. And you got a few Queen Latifah and Carmen and De La Soul, and I've been on my De La Soul thing right now. It's gonna be cool. I already got our tickets. It's July 4th here in Atlanta, and I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be amazing. And you need to be cultured. So there's that. All right, so
I should not be broke so I can afford a ticket. Hey Miguel, how much were those tickets that you bought?
It don't matter. So
okay.
That's
how I know I can't go.
Mind your business. So we skipped over Jerry Springer passed away a few days ago. I'll let you set that up. Go ahead, Jerry, because
he died. Like, what am I setting up?
So disrespectful. So
well, I'm sorry. He went to glory. He did okay. Respectfully, R.I.P. to the goat. He died of pancreatic cancer, and it was pretty quick. I think he got diagnosed like 3 months before he died. But if anybody is familiar with pancreatic cancer, it's a pretty quick situation unless they catch it like as soon as it hits your body. But he passed away, and he is definitely a cultural icon. Me being 38, I remember getting off the school bus and being excited to go home and let's watch Jerry. And he brought us, so many funny, crazy moments. And he had Judge Jerry for a while. I don't even know what network that was on, but he had Judge Jerry.
But it's a Judge Steve Harvey now, so it's something else to get people on to watch. Yeah, Judge Steve. It'll be on in a couple of weeks. Yes.
He just did an interview where he said that his daughters didn't want to marry his wife, didn't want him to marry Marjorie.
I can believe that.
But nobody wanted him to marry Marjorie because they all thought Marjorie was a gold-digging hoe. And that's why they didn't want them to marry Marjorie.
You say hoe so eloquently. It's just like it rolls off your tongue.
Hoe is my favorite word.
Jesus. Yeah, but
my road rage includes of saying the word hoe as somebody like does something mean to me in traffic.
Oh my God. But Jerry Springer, here's my take on Jerry Springer. Go ahead.
And Jerry became popular with younger people because he was always doing the TikTok dances. Like there would be a TikTok thing.
No, he wasn't.
And then he would go and go look it up. Jerry Springer loved the TikTok dance. He loved the TikTok challenge.
Oh my God. Yeah, so I'm sorry. No, everybody, it's the front door. So, you've been to my house, it's the front door. And so anyway, no, man, Jerry Springer I never watched Jerry Springer. I don't like chaos like that. It's just silly. Most of the stuff, that comes on, most of the stuff that comes on when most of us are at work between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. on those UPNs and those WBs and those, there's no telling what's going to come on. But, here's the thing, what I didn't realize, I realized it late, and he was a politician at one time. I want to say he was the mayor of Cincinnati, I think.
He was the mayor. Yeah.
He was the mayor of Cincinnati. I think he was an attorney.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, he made a great career out of it.
The Jerry Springer show didn't start out what it ended up being. That's not how the Jerry Springer show was supposed to be. I think they had one scandalous show, and it just ended up only being that after that.
Yeah.
But the same thing with all those people. Because remember, Jerry Springer was a talk show host during the golden age. Remember, it was Jerry, Sally Jesse Raphael, Donahue, Montel.
So he was the anti-Donahue. He was, because those were so straight ahead. The Donahues of the world, and then you had Oprah, and you had the Sherry Jesse with her red glasses, and then here comes Ricky Lakes. The Ricky Lakes, and then they just went to the other side with "You Are Not the Father." Who's that?
I can name all of them.
Who is the "You Are Not the Father"? Which ones are "You Are Not the Father"? You should do the little blood test.
That's Maury, who I feel like when Jerry Springer died last week, so for some reason, Maury posted a video of himself eating Cheerios saying, "We'll come out of retirement for the next celebrity baby scandal." I was like, sir, can you please, again, go like Harrison Ford, please go die. Go somewhere and just relax and pass away.
Who did that? Morgan, or what is his name? Maury Povich?
Maury Povich.
He's still alive?
Because he's retired.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's 90.
Is he in his
93?
90s? Oh my God. Whew, Jesus. All right, so I purposely haven't spent a lot of time on this segment right here, on this story right here. Carolyn Bryant Donham, Emmett Till's accuser.
He's 84. My mistake. 84. He's 84. He's still old.
Well, Carol Dunham was 88, and may she rot in hell. That's pretty much the gist of this. And so for people who don't know who Carol Bryant Dunham, she was the white woman who accused Emmett Till and had him murdered because of this accusation, and was caught laughing with her husband and her brother-in-law as they got away with murder. And she went to her grave and did not spend a day in jail. And so for all my Christian folks, all my, y'all say, "Oh, Miguel, you should just bless her, forgive her." May she rot. May she rot. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I'm not blessing or forgiving for what she did. I mean, the brutal murder of a child.
Of a child.
This was not a grown
child.
man. This was a child. Who they killed. And, you know, I guess the other, and I'm not saying good, like I'm glad this happened, but in a good way, that this is another instance where it kind of sparked another movement and another portion of the civil rights movement. It kept moving along when these incidents happened. So,
This is true.
I'm disgusted by her, but her lie and BS only helped fuel the movement more. It didn't take it down, didn't change it, nothing. It just fueled the movement more.
But it did not bring that young man back. He would have been in his 70s by now, probably, and he was taken from. So I'm glad she's gone.
And she definitely lived in exile. She lived in exile for a while because there was a warrant.
But she
I
lived.
get it.
But she lived.
I get it.
All right, let's move on. We talked about this story briefly, and it was funny because go back, and I think maybe the New York Times or Washington Post, one of them, did this long story about this. When you read it for folks, A Situ with Pride sounds like a movie. It sounds like a freaking movie. Like, there was some money and this Malaysian guy, and he's got billions of dollars, and he took from the Malaysian government, and he was throwing parties, and Praz went and did New Year's Eve in 2 countries in the same year, and blah, blah, blah. Go ahead.
Let me see if I can read if it'll help our listeners. Okay, so Prazakal, that's his name, Praz Michel, was accused of funneling money from a now punitive Malaysian financier through straw donors to Barack Obama's 2012 election campaign. So what that means, because this type of politics stuff I kind of understand, they would give money to Praz because they can't give directly to Obama because it's going to look crazy as all get out. They would give it to Praz, and Praz would make one giant donation to the Obama.
And we're talking like $20 and $50 million. It was the money that was circulating was insane. It was insane. And his claim was that he really didn't know, I got the money, I could do whatever I want to do with the money. No, bruh. So he is facing, on 10 counts, he's facing over 20 years in prison for this situation. And this is the prize from the Fugees. And he's living his rich and famous lifestyle. In the article, everybody from Leonardo DiCaprio to Jay-Z's name to, like you said, Barack Obama, Donald Trump, all these names come up in this story. And this brother I don't know what his recourse is going to be, but he is going to jail.
He's going to jail.
He is going to jail.
This is a big deal. The one thing that, the U.S. does not play around with, and that's espionage. And technically, this is espionage, isn't
it? It's one of them words that none of us, that the baddest dude, like, what? That's like RICO. RICO, espionage, treason. You like, bro, that ain't nah, bro. This is, bro, this is not good.
And his lawyer still thinks they can prevail. His lawyer actually said, "This is not over." Attorney Dave Kinner said, "I remain very, very confident we will ultimately prevail." First of all, his lawyer got that Smokey Robinson face.
God, you're gonna make me pull it back up.
Look at his face.
His face he looks like a Joker. He looks like the Joker. Look at it. That smile looks like the Joker for Batman. It's terrible. It is terrible. But Liberace was also he looks bad.
Oh goodness. Move on.
He looks bad.
Take that off the screen.
He looks bad.
And that's
all right. So we're gonna keep an eye on that story. And the last thing before we get out of this segment, Kim Potter, whatever. She was the cop who killed this young man, Daunte Wright, in 2021. 16 months in prison. She is now out. And I'm going to keep an eye on this story to see how the Wright are going to treat her, because that young man, once again, is another situation. He should be alive right now. She called us up reaching for her taser, reached for a gun. She killed him. And now after 16 months, she's back out in the streets and she's going to live her life. And Daunte Wright is not. And that's the tragedy in all of this. All right. We got a new segment we wanted to set up for you guys. Because we don't just host this podcast. We actually have real jobs and careers.
We slave away.
And so we got a new
media group and Kia Scope PPC. Just wanted to point that out since my logo is not on that card.
Well, we'll get your logo up there next week. And so I have a media company, and Kia is an expert in PPC and all of that good stuff. If you've been paying attention, there's a lot of blue checks floating around in the world right now. And some of them being taken away and some of them being given. My man Ike Hayes the third, who owns a fan base, and that is the same Ike Hayes. He manages his father's estate. He had this to say about the blue checks.
All right, if you want to debate about verification, let's debate about verification, especially Twitter. So Twitter took away everybody's blue checks today. I don't care if they took mine away, it doesn't matter. But a lot of people are defending the right to pay for their verification badge and giving reasons that it helps protect people from identity theft and fraud, which is a load of crap. Verification, in its essence, is to protect public figures and brands from impersonation by people or entities that may assume their identity for nefarious reasons that want to scam and make profit and do all that kind of stuff. It became a status symbol. For that very reason, employees of said companies like Twitter and Facebook and Instagram started backdoor charging people to be verified. So what happened is these companies realized that people were willing to pay thousands of dollars to get verified, so why not turn it into a subscription-based service, which is absolutely fine if they want to do it and be honest about it's for profit. It is not to protect anybody. Bots are the issue for the average user when it comes to someone impersonating your identity. Our problem is bots. AI and phone number sign up will take care of 99% of that. Now, if you say I want to elevate my visibility as a brand or elevate my visibility as a regular user to stand out more on the platform, then just say that. But it has nothing to do with protecting your identity. It is a money-making scheme to make extra revenue, but don't say that you're trying to protect people's identity, because if you wanted to do that, you would just switch over to phone number sign up and get rid of bots. And you haven't done either. So verification is a scam if you're paying for it.
Yeah. So, So Ike laying it down. If you're not following fan base, but what's your take on the blue check? Now, mind you, before you answer, as that segment was going, guess what came in as a comment? A bot comment. It's so funny.
Oh yeah.
Here you go. There you go. Bot comment.
I
Bot
see
comment.
it.
Bot comment.
So here is. Do we all remember the day when Elon Musk took away the blue check, and anybody could be Pfizer on Twitter? Or anybody could be whatever. That was a horrible day for these brands. Like when they said, oh, we're getting rid of all diabetes medication. So the blue check did have some kind of importance with keeping, brands, big brands, from being impersonated. As far as it having a huge effect on the everyday user, I don't think it has a huge effect on the everyday user. But I do get concerned when people can masquerade as someone else and then start scamming other people. That's where I think the problem is coming in at with that. As far as people buying their blue checks, I think it's a joke. When I see people on Twitter, if I'm doing it back and forth, and I happen to be like, well, let me just go check out your page. I'm like, wait a minute, you have 500 followers and you pay for a blue check. We can't have a conversation anymore. I'm just going to stop responding to you because you're whack. Like, well, I don't have a blue check. I don't have a ton of followers on Twitter. I don't have a ton of followers on Instagram. Me getting a blue check means what now at this point?
Well, here's the thing. I had this conversation with another one in our space, and she was saying to me that she got the blue check for the identity protection of the identity and all of that. And I just kind of shrugged my shoulders. I said, okay, I get it. But here's the thing: we as marketers, we look at this thing and we look at it from a different lens. There are still people who are impressed with the blue check. There's still There's still a situation where you're going through a comment stream and you see somebody with a blue check, and you still are mentally giving that person a little bit more credibility than the average. And so And so you think about it. We used to always get those little comment or posts that would come across. Oh, one day Facebook's gonna charge us all $4.99 to have our Facebook accounts, and we was all like, man, they will never charge anybody for anything. Oh, how we were wrong, and only because the subscription model is working. People pay. Sometimes there's a whole business around having companies scrub your personal accounts and say you're paying for Hulu 3 times in your account, right?
Yeah,
And so that's easy money.
I've learned a lot.
That's what I got. Rocket Money, and does the same thing for us.
But I will say this from a marketing standpoint, it also puts my brands and probably brands that you work with in a weird position, because now everybody wants to do influencer marketing, which I hate with a passion. So if a brand is approached by somebody who has a blue check, they're a little bit more likely to look at that person and say, oh, they got a blue check. So they've got a following.
Mm-hmm.
So I can, do this partnership with them, even though that person
Mm-hmm.
maybe only has 2,000 fans, maybe, or maybe not even that much. If they see that blue
Mm-hmm.
check and are now they're considering it.
Mm-hmm.
And from a client, business owner, agency perspective, that makes me nervous. And every time clients say that to me, I'm kind of like, I really don't, please don't make me do this. Please don't make me reach out to this blue check because he has a blue check.
Mm-hmm. Well, why does it make you nervous?
Because influencer marketing, I feel like, is a very, very, very stupid thing. I feel like influencer marketing is stupid because if you look at influencer marketing on social media right now, a lot of the people who are wearing a certain thing on their page doesn't get a lot of play. They have to then be reposted by another brand for then that to get more play. It's not just the influencer by itself who's really doing the, large push and traffic driven to this driving traffic to the site. It's because it were reposted by another website. For example, when it comes to Black influencers, Baller Alert and the Shade Room, that's what they do to help a lot of these influencers out. They have a partnership deal with these influencers. They post them on that page for their Fashion Nova deal, and then people run to the site. So it's not real influencer marketing if you have to have a large platform repost you, is it?
Well, here's the thing with that, and on my pushback would be, when it's all said and done, if you are someone who's got 10,000 followers, or you got 5,000 followers, or 2,500 people who will listen to you and respond to you, then you are a brand. And as long as you're selling product and the cost per lead is going to cost me X, whatever. You know what I mean? It's really, I used to always have this issue with people who used to turn their nose up to network marketers. And I would say, okay, you turn your nose up to network marketing. Network marketing, basically, it was the early influencer marketing. It was a bunch of people running around selling these knives. And instead of, Cutco going and buying ads on ABC, they put money in commission structures for network marketers. And people would turn their noses up at network marketers like, oh, that ain't nothing, blah, 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 blah. But when they go
and that turned into affiliate marketing.
And that turned into affiliate marketing. So when you look at how much money is being spent in advertising, they're shifting how they're spending the money. That's really what it is. And so now you have a situation where, and I've heard Ike say this many times, you can post on Instagram until you're blue in the face. You can have 25,000, 150,000, 250,000, a million followers. You will never reach all million of those people that they say are following you. Right? No. Because if that was the case, why would Pepsi go buy an ad at the Super Bowl? If I can go over here to this person, and if I can go to LeBron James, who's got 43 million people following him, and if I can reach all 43 million of those people, then cost per, the average Super Bowl ad costs, $8 million, and I'm going to be paying, LeBron James that kind of money. So the influencer piece.
How YouTube does with subscribers. There we go. It's the same thing how YouTube does with subscribers. If you notice, a channel might have 1,000 followers, but their videos are only getting 200 views, 300 views,
right?
But they have 1,000 followers. So why all these people watching this?
They're choking it down. They're choking it down. That's why you have to continue to. There's other ways to do it, and it's a whole different conversation. There's other ways to do about building community. You build your community, and you really don't need 100,000 people to be a millionaire. I see people, and I've seen fun. We have fun with everything, and you send me your logo so we can get it up there right beside LMG, because you're absolutely right. This is a sponsored comment section for the two of us. So anyway, great show today. Are we doing Instagram today?
You're making that face, which means no. That's cool. I'm gonna go watch The Diplomat then.
You gonna watch what?
The Diplomat on Netflix.
What is The Diplomat?
Oh, it's so good. We're only on episode 2, and me and Omar
I think I saw that when we wrapped up the other show you wanted us to watch, Night Watch or Night, isn't that what it was called? Night Watch. Yeah, we watched it. It was cool.
Okay, I know you're not sure about going to Instagram, but can we do a Night Watch review on IG?
Go ahead.
Come on. I want to hear your thoughts.
Let's do it now. Hold on. Let's do it now. Let's do it now because I'm trying to. Well, that's right. I thought about it. My wife was leaving in the morning. Now she's not. So I don't know. Let's just do it now. All right. So Night Watch. Night Watch was cool. It was 24-ish. You know what I mean? It was kind of like pretty. So you give me your you give me your feedback, and I'll tell you what I thought about it.
I thought Night Watch was very well done. I wouldn't compare it to 24 because it looked like it lasted over a bunch of days. Like it didn't just drag out,
Yeah, well,
one day for
24.
an
Yeah,
entire
right.
season.
That was the
24 got
unique.
my
That was the uniqueness of 24. It was all. You're right. I'm talking
I
about.
could
I'm
watch.
talking about the buffed guy who's the FBI guy, and he's everybody's hero, and he's got his own issues and blah blah blah. So that's what I'm talking. But go ahead.
Yeah, I also didn't like the fact that him and that girl had sex. I was like, really? Did y'all
Why
need to have
not?
sex?
First of all, there's always going to have to be sex in a show like that. That's just a given. Like that's part of
Maybe
the
it's old
storyline.
now. Like, fast forward. Why? Anyway, I thought it was very well done. I like the diversity of the class. I also
Yeah.
like the storyline of the class, how everybody had a different thing they were trying to overcome or push through or do something that made the story really, really cool. You
Mhm.
have the chief of staff who thought she was doing the right thing by helping them, and now she's got to clean up a mess. And you've got the
Right.
young FBI agent who did something amazing and somehow ended up at like the night watch desk in the basement of the White House.
Right. You know who
And they
annoyed
never
me though?
explained
You know who annoyed me?
who.
The black chick. She was not a good actress.
I didn't mind her, but her
Mm,
whole stick up her buttness of it all, I didn't like that. I
she
didn't
just
like the
wasn't
whole.
believable to me as a someone who would be a Secret Service. She just was too friendly with the daughter. And if you guys haven't watched it, if it's
But
spoiler
that's
alert
what
or
made it
whatever.
believable because I think what they were trying to say is if you're going to be watching a young 20-year-old on the campus, you can't be the regular suit mouthpiece wearing, looking all serious, wearing a gun,
But they was so
Secret Service.
like if you saw, first of all, this young lady is the vice president's daughter, so everybody knows when she walks around she's got Secret Service. So they will be walking in lockstep, talking to each other in their little comms and all that type
Yeah,
of
that
stuff.
was weird. Like
That
we
was
can see you start doing like this. Like you're
and
practically
they little
breathing.
earpieces all sticking out their ear, all like it was pretty terrible.
So that you're right. That was not believable. And the guy having a twin.
Yeah, that was, it was a few things that I was just like, it was
It was
okay though. It was entertaining. It did what it was supposed to do. It was entertaining. Period. That
Now
was
the
fine.
vice president storyline, the one who ended up being like the real villain at the end.
Right.
I like that storyline of basically saying the daughter was like, I don't like none of this. I don't like any of this. I'm doing this because I have to. Because you're,
Right.
and in turn to come to find out he was abusive.
Right. For you
And
to sit up here and blame your daughter. And I'm sorry if you guys haven't seen it. We're talking about it.
you had time.
You've had time. That's
You had
so this is
to
called The
watch
Night
it.
Watch. It is on Netflix. It is pretty cool. It's so
Did you watch
funny when
Beef?
huh?
Did you watch Beef?
No. We are watching. We can't watch for so much, and we still got lives and kids and stuff. And like legit, all weekend we were at basketball tournaments. So we finished up Bel Air. Do you watching Bel Air?
If you ask me that one more time, I swear to God, no. You ask
Because
me
it
that
makes
every
no
week.
sense you're not watching Bel Air. That's like
I will watch
middle
it. Me and
class.
Omar are just,
Is he watching it? Is Omar watching it?
no, we watch when there's stuff we want to watch, we watch it together. Like we're
Okay,
actually
then we're in the
watching
same break.
Succession. We're watching Succession.
Succession. Is that the one that's on HBO?
The one that's on HBO.
I tried to watch. Is that the one that's supposed to be about like the Murdoch family? It's like everybody said that's what it's kind of about.
It's the Murdoch family.
So I think I watched maybe the first couple episodes and then I just didn't stay with it. I don't know. So we finished.
Yeah.
So Bel Air season just ended. So I'm telling you, Bel Air is good, and let me just tell you why. It's not written like the comedy.
No, that was the goal for Will Smith, who's the producer, was trying to turn everything into it being dramatic. Like there's nothing funny about it. It's all just.
Yeah, it's entertaining. It's the characters are more developed. Hillary has a lot more depth to her character. Carlton has a lot more depth to his character. They deal with some. It's a good show. And the cliffhangers that they just because yes, the one we just watched is the season finale. The cliffhangers leave you with a lot of you would never think Uncle Phil would be possibly cheating on Aunt Viv, right? Like that was never a thing on the comedy.
It was fat and gross in the not gross, but fat in the other way.
Well, this Uncle Phil is not fat. He's an alpha and he's in good shape and he's a successful lawyer. Nobody is no. Everybody is dope. And then the what's her name? The baby Ashley. Is it Ashley? The baby, the youngest one that So she is LGBTQ, even though she's young.
Oh.
So they're exploring that storyline.
And isn't the original Ashley a teacher in this season at the school?
She's not in there a lot. She's in there, and that's an interesting part of the storyline. There's quite a few interesting parts of the story. It's a good show. It really is. And it's out there, you know, if I'm spoiling it, oh well. So Jazz and Hillary have a relationship. They're involved. So DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Hillary character on the old show would have never happened. In this show, they're involved. They're involved. So it's cool. And then of course, of course you're not watching Power, and we are. But here's the funny thing. Mary J. is the queen of hip hop soul. We love her to life. Me and Trey was laughing yesterday. She is a terrible. I won't say terrible. She's just very. She is not as good than what's that girl who played Cookie Lyons? She doesn't. Taraji is a much better actress, and she's supposed to because she's a real actress. Mary J is a singer.
Because she's a real actress.
Yeah.
Remember that whole phase when they tried to make all the white girl singers and R&B singers, they wanted to make all of them actresses? Did any of them ever have a decent acting career? Any of them?
Well, Mary J actually got like either Emmy nomination or something for some role she did on Netflix. She did.
Oh, she got an Oscar nomination for her role in God, I forgot the movie. It's gonna piss me off.
But I don't know. But this year, it is like this last couple episodes. I guess they really wrap up the season. It's like so incredibly unbelievable. But you know, it's entertaining. It's like a nighttime soap opera.
Mudbound. She got nominated for a Best Supporting Actress in Mudbound.
Yes,
and that was in 2018. So yeah, it's the thing. Did she get nominated because she was good, or did they not have enough Black people in the category that year, and they were like, "We're just gonna pick you"? I feel like it could have been. I just think she's a horrible actress. She's like Britney Spears level actress.
I think in a lot of ways when they find the right characters that they don't have to stretch themselves. Mary J was just Mary J in Mudbone. Like Mary J is Mary J in every role she plays. She don't smile. She don't halfway laugh. She got this hard New York accent, and she's like, "I dare you. I dare you. Who the F you talking to?" Blah, 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 blah. That's her whole character. There's a lot of debate around this too. In two of the Power series, the one Raising Kanan, and now this one, Mary is the queen pin, and then there's this other chick Rock who plays in the Kanan. Girl, stop the Raising Kanan joint. And now they're trying to debate who's the worst bad bee. It's interesting. All right. So anyway, you've been missing any part of the show. Check it out. We appreciate y'all. Now we ain't doing no Instagram night. I'm tired. I don't feel like it. We'll talk to y'all later. Love y'all. Peace.